there is a moment where you go, a year ago, I was a professional comedian doing my dream job.
Oh,
now,
I'm going to put it loud.
I'm at fucking Iceland. I'm at Iceland part-time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking... dreadful.
Carlisle! All is forgiven! And it's up there.
What would you give for that 100 quid in Grimsby now?
Oh, it's 10 hours work at fucking at Iceland.
Is it a 10 an hour?
What? Less than that, £9.69.
$9.69.
Do you think promoters are ever going to pay decent wedge ever again? Like, even in like 5 years, it's 2026, and people will be on the forums, comedians will be like, bloody hell, it really should be more than 120 to close the fuck chuckle hut in Hull. And the promoters are going to be like, wow, you're whinging about the fees, are you?
So
I remember back in 2021 when you were working at fucking Iceland.
There's a comedian that we both know, whose name I'm not going to say, but they put a post on Facebook a little while ago where they were like, guys, I have just been offered a gig for a corporate Zoom gig, and it's £400, and I'm not going to do it because I just feel like it should be more money than that. But I won't judge you if you take it. But I'm just letting you know that I feel like, we have to have standards in our industry. And it's like, are you you're switching your fucking webcam on and talking for 20 minutes? 400 quid.
I mean, by the way, if you're thinking, God, comedy can't be in a bad way, there's not a lot of those gigs knocking about.
There's not a lot of those gigs.
Most of them are like 25, 50 quid on Zoom at the moment.
I did one of them yesterday. I did a Zoom corporate yesterday afternoon. And it was the first one. So I did a few in December, as I told you about. This is the first one I did where I couldn't see anyone. This is the first Zoom thing I've done with no front row.
Oh, dreadful, innit?
It was just me. So... It was on Zoom, so you can see all their names in their little black boxes. Not one face for 25 minutes. And just had to keep talking and tell me face I was smashing it, even though I was hating it.
Did you laugh at any point? Because I've done a Zoom gig. I think it's the Kiri's one, the
COVID Arms.
Yeah. Where the only person you can hear is Kiri, and she's in a small box. And she's like distracted because she's comparing the show. She's like, it works like this. And you get to the end of the bit and there's a pause for the laughter in your head. Nothing happens and you go, like, oh my God, I'm filling my own pause for
That's
laughter.
what I did. I'd pause and have a little look down at my little notes of like what next bit I'm doing. And then I'd just go, been losing weight.
Did you ever do any of the driving gigs?
No.
So yes, I did a few.
Yes, I did, Freddie. Thank you.
Oh yeah. well, I did some in December, right? And they were like, guys, we encourage you, guys and girls and people in cars. We encourage you that if you find a joke funny, we want you to honk of those horns. We want you to flash of those lights. It's gonna be great. Let's try it on 3. That fucking shite. But the thing is like what would happen is that you'd tell a joke and then they'd laugh and they go, ha, oh, beep, 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 flash, flash, flash. So there's a 5-second delay between them laughing, remembering that they have to do the honking. But you can't fucking time for that.
No. It's impossible.
You tell the joke and then you go, and then I said cucumber.
And also,
so anyway,
a honk of a horn the instinct is like, oh. But like, honking horns is very rarely a good thing.
No, never like, smash that roundabout there, kid. Well done.
I like your hair, man.
But you'd finish your joke, it's a cucumber. And then you move on, you go, so I was in the, and then they go, beep, 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 and you'd be like, oh, fuck this. But,
Yeah, I'm not going to do any driving gigs. I've stuck to me guns for nigh on a year now. Of not.
Oh yeah, I think they're dying on the
only Zoom gigs I've done have been corporates, and I've not done any driving gigs. I'll do those outdoor ones again in the summer if they become a thing.
They
again.
were great.
They were fun.
Yeah,
still not quite. Got.
I'm saying no.
Right. I'm genuinely. I'm sort of mean that. I think everyone's experience. Okay, so we've got the podcast. We've grafted, but we've been lucky. A lot of people are having to graft at real things, and I do think post. Like pandemic, I really think fees for comedy are going to be in a weird place. I think there's some places that will pay what they used to pay.
Do you know what?
And I think a lot of people would be like, I think we now see the value of gigging for 20 minutes, and I think it's 80 quid.
Do you know what I think they'll do?
I don't see that happening.
I think what will happen is the opener and middles fees will suffer, but I think the headline fees will get bigger.
You've been saying this.
I've said this for years. Yeah, I think it's going to go to the American model where it's Freddy Quinne plus support.
But why would that person not go and do a tour show?
So no, well, because everyone's going to take a step down now, I think. So I think that people who would do a tour show would now headline those gigs for 300-400 quid. And I think that people who would not bother touring because they're on TV all the time would now take one down and start to tour a bit more and stuff like that. I think everyone's going to push everyone out. Happen.
I don't know how that works at the Frog or like the Comedia in Brighton. It's a very big shift culturally.
I actually think you're both wrong for now. I think that's going to happen long term. I think in 5-10 years, maybe it'll be slightly accelerated by what's happened. I do think it will go more that way, where venues will be like, look, we need you to put 30 of the bums on. We need you to pay your own fee by getting the people in the door. That's what we need you to do.
Not on a weekend. These aren't weekend. That's
that's what I'm thinking. In not necessarily immediately, but a bit further down the line. Yeah.
I think the independent promoters will be the first to try.
Yeah, that model sounds more like a midweek, doesn't it?
Well, no, a weekend for like independent promoters and shit like that. I think that'll be the first thing to happen, because somewhere like the Frog and Bucket, the Comedy Store, Comedia, Hot Water, Glees, they are their own brand. Do you know what I mean? And people are going to want to go because it's that club.
On a Saturday night, they can do 600 tickets a night.
Whereas if it's comedy night at the fucking,
the Fuck Chuckle Hut.
Yeah, the Fuck Chuckle Hut upstairs in the pub where there's 200 people, or, in the function room of the hotel, gigs, I think that they will start to pay for your, acts with TV credits and profiles.
Pay a bit more. I don't think that's wrong. I think the idea that it's going to be names headlining the Glee, the Comedia, the Store is such a massive shift.
I don't think the Store will ever necessarily go that way, but I think there will be some clubs. I think it's possible at the Glee. I think it's possible at the Frog. I think it's possible at Comedia, where they go, right, the opener in the middle get 120 quid, but the headliner gets 400. I don't think we're that.
Do you know what else technically needs to fuck off as well? It doesn't make any sense for a comedy club or comedy promoter to always pay the same fee to close. That doesn't make any sense.
And if you don't know, there's a weird rule, not rule, but like a tradition in stand-up, that basically a slot at a night is a fee, and if it's found out that other comics are getting paid more than other comics, it doesn't half generate some bad bitching, doesn't it?
Well, actually, when you think about it, it's completely sensible. Because number one, not every comic brings the same thing. There are some comics that are better than others, obviously, but there are some comics who have more profile than others and will bring more, more people and save you money on advertising. So it makes sense that money gets passed on to them, essentially.
Yeah, totally.
But also as well, it's about how well they negotiate, Like, there's no fucking plumbing comedy forum where every plumber goes, leaky tap, 50 quid. Do you know, they just fucking charge what they want to charge.
Yeah, but I think it's the idea of a circuit is where that changes. It's not a plumbing circuit. Do you know what I mean? It's a comedy circuit. It works because everyone is willing to do the same thing for the same money. I know what you're saying, and it already does happen. When a big name act, if a club wants a big name act, like I book a couple of gigs, sometimes the promoter, the people who promote the gig will go, can you get us a name, this guy? I'll go, you have to give us some more money, and I'll pay a little bit more. And comics don't moan about that, because if I put Russell Kane in Runcorn, then he gets a bit more because he'll sell 50 or 100 of the tickets himself. So he earns that money by being who he is. But if you're just putting another circuit comic on...
Yeah, if you value different circuit comics against different circuit comics, it is going to get pissy, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's the natural progression of things. Especially now, where there's so many different social media platforms and we've all got our own little profiles and people who... But I think it'll be a good thing, because I think it will encourage people to cultivate a following, which a lot of comics are so fucking lazy in doing.
And do you know what it's going to take? It's going to take people like the Blairs. It's going to take younger promoters to change the game. Because as we know, this industry is run by older guys and it's very slow paced. If you look at the pace of the rest of the circuit trying to copy what Hot Water have done, no one's managed it. I mean, they've laid out the blueprint of success.
Yeah.
I know there's things like Paul Smith, but the way they've used social media and the rest of the circuit, like, yeah, we could do some videos. And you're like, it's been painful. It'll be younger promoters changing the rules.
It's been 4 years now since Hot Water opened up and they put cameras, really high quality cameras, and recorded all of their shows. There are how many clubs that are doing the same thing as Hot Water now?
2 or 3,
as well as Hot Water when they started.
No, none.
Not many. None. So nobody is at the level of Hot Water of 2017.
Yeah.
So that's mental to me.
They've tried.
4 years.
They've tried. They just haven't worked it out.
We work in a fucking oil tanker of an industry that is constantly so slow to fucking react to any change at all.
Well, I'm not saying your theories about where we're going are wrong. I just see it as it'll be so glacial, the movement on it, because they're like, well, we do what they do, and they've always done it the way we do it. Like the way weekend comedy clubs are set up now is almost identical to when they were set up in the early 90s.
Yeah, there's very little innovation because there's a
lot of copying.
There's an attitude of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's like it is getting broke, but it's bending. Like it hasn't gone.
Yeah, it's bowing in the middle.
It's bowing, and eventually it'll just collapse in on itself. But if there was a big problem and the circuit snapped, then everyone would go, oh shit, we need to change it. Because it's bowing, they're going, no, it's just about keeping us up. It's fine. Oh shit, then it's
gone. I can understand weekend comedy clubs. They just want to pay a headliner 180 and not 400. Yeah. It makes it cheaper to not top load a fucking bill.
Yeah.
You know?